It's finally here. Something you've all been waiting for. Episode 6, aka the last episode of What If Deku was the Doomslayer. Now, I do have an idea to continue the series, but that's going to rely on you. Comment down below how you'd like to see the series continue. We start off at the beginning of the training camp. Deku is on the bus with the rest of 1A. He is doing his own thing, fixing his weapons in the back of the bus, while everybody is doing their own thing. We then see Deku peek over Aoyama every few minutes. Some people see this in the corner of their eyes, but they don't think too much about it. We then skip to after the Wild Pussycats push Deku and that down the mountain. Deku jumps down because there's no way a couple rubble could move him. Deku then keeps walking, and all of the rock things keep attacking him. He just keeps batting them away with no effort. Then we cut to almost sunset, where everybody's just getting there, but Deku is not even tired. The Wild Pussycats are, but Deku just says, "Yeah, I face demons. Rock creatures ain't nothing." Hey, all the Wild Pussycats say in sync. Deku just shrugs and just says plainly, "Compared to demons, these things are like child's toys." They blink at first, then go, "Oh, so you're the Doomslayer?" Deku then just goes, "Yup." Pixie Bob then explains how it's going to be a long day for them since they're going to do training all tomorrow. Deku gets a weird feeling and he knows something bad's going to happen, but he decides to keep it on the down low for now. Then Pixie Bob asks Aizawa, "So which one of your students are taken?" Erace is confused at first, and then he just face palms and goes, "Well, it depends. The ones that aren't taken aren't straight, and the rest are kind of complicated." "Okay, which one of yours are dating somebody?" "Well, the Doomslayer, aka Midoriya, is dating Mirko." The Wild Pussycats are just looking at Aizawa like he just ran over a cat. I'm sorry. The Mirko who is literally crazy is dating somebody. I'm sorry, what? Aizawa then sighs and says, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it either. But they are dating. And they're quite happy, so I'm not bothered. As long as it keeps Problem Child off my rear. Anyway. So, what problems do we have to solve with the quirks of them? Well, Pixie Bob then just says, well, based on what their weaknesses and strengths are. Well, then he just says, well, if that's the case, we'll train them in the morning, then we'll hit them up in the Repertorium on the evening. They're confused when Aizawa mentions a Repertorium. He just says plainly, it's the Doomslayer's personal training prison. They're confused when they hear prison. Aizawa then just says plainly, it's where the Doomslayer keeps all the demons. Well, where demons can pop in and he just goes absolutely crazy on them, destroying them in every way, shape and form. They're surprised by that, and then they ask, so what's his quirk? Eraser then just sighs and says, he's quirkless. I'm sorry, what? They all just say in sync. Deku just sighs and goes, you do know I can hear you all right? Aizawa just sighs and goes, well, sorry, but they wanted to know about your... Deku just sighs and says, I know. Now, Pixie Bob. I might take up on your offer. She gets excited at first, but then she remembers he just said might. She's confused, but then nothing else is eventful during the training arc. Then we cut to when the League of Villains attack. We then see all the League of Villains. So, Sensei said they should be here. Muscular's like, right, you lot do your own thing, I'm going to go and either get the list or kill whoever else. And just walks away. Deku then walks up behind Kota. Kota's at first a little shocked, and he's like, how did you... Deku just says, he wasn't quite sneaky walking off. Kota just sighs and says, leave me alone. Deku just says plainly, so I guess you hate quirks. Or is it heroes? Kota's eyes widen hearing that. He then just says, how did you... Deku just sighs and says plainly, yeah, I felt like that once. But you have a really strong... Deku just sighs and says, to put it simply, I'm quirkless. I got this through somebody else helping me. Kota's about to say something, then Deku just says, I know you're hiding there, Show yourself before I have to drag you out and beat the shit out of you. Muscular then says, well, you wasn't on the list, so I guess I can kill you. My name's Muscular. Deku just says, weird name, but I don't give a two flying fucks who you are. Kota, you mind getting behind me? Cause I'm about to whoop this guy's ass. Muscular then goes, cocky, I like it. And then punches Deku right in the face. And Deku doesn't even flinch. Deku then just says plainly, is that all you got? Muscular's eyes widen by that. Deku then starts beating the shit out of Muscular with his bare hands, and Kota's having some PTSD about Muscular. Then Deku sees this and he goes, hey Kota, this is the guy who killed your parents, right? Kota then just stops panicking for a second and looks at Deku, who's literally stood above Muscular, who's trying to get free. Kota nods and Deku just says, how about you end him? They're both confused and Muscular's like, there's no way that brat could. Then Deku hands Kota his double-barrel shotgun. Kota looks at it and then gets a grin as he points it to Muscular's head. Muscular says, hey kid, I was just doing my job, okay? It was nothing personal. Then Kota just says, see you in hell, jackass, and pulls the trigger. Kota then just blinks twice and says, did I really just kill somebody? Deku just says, yep, and you're a natural. Kota blinks and just says, won't I be charged with murder? Hey, he attacked us first, so technically it's self-defense. Plus you're too young to go to prison. Fair point. Kota says, here you go, mister, your shotgun. Deku just says plainly, just call me Deku. He goes, okay, Mr. Deku. So, you think maybe I could slay demons with you one time? He says, maybe sometime. Next time Pixie Bow comes over, well, when Pixie Bow comes up to my place, you and Daisy can go on a rampage in the Repertorium. He goes, sweet! Then Deku sees fire in the forest and he goes, hey Kota, have you ever used a machine gun or do you want to just keep using the shotgun? He looks at the shotgun and goes, shotgun. Deku and Kota then are going through the forest and a demon portal opens up. Deku just blinks and says, this is what's gonna happen. I get the ones on the left, you get the ones on the right. Kota then pulls out the shotgun and runs right up to a demon and puts the shotgun to his nuts. Then Kota just says, boom, bitch, and pulls the trigger, killing the demon instantly. Deku just finishes with the rest of the demons and looks at Kota and says, you might be the next mini Doomslayer. Kota then just grins. We then cut to when Bakugo gets kidnapped. Deku looks at the portal and Bakugo gets dragged in. Deku is just seconds late. Deku then gets angry and Kota just says, "So we're going to kill them all?" Deku just goes quiet and growls. A blue portal opens behind him. Kota and Deku go right through. We then see Mirko and Daisy chilling in the Fortress of Doom. Deku is silent, walking right past them. They're both confused, and then Kota just says, "Some villains took Bakugo." They're both confused. He just says, "The angry Pomeranian with explosions." They both go, "Oh, him." "Well, I'm sorry for the villains," they both just say in sync. And Kota just says, "Yeah, well, I'm tagging along." They're both surprised, and then Kota just pulls out the shotgun and goes, "Yeah, now he's gonna train me." After all this, they're both surprised, but then they go, "Well, I mean, we don't mind." Then Deku comes back wearing the full Doom suit. Kota just goes, "Sweet." Then Deku just says, "Vega, find the League of Villains." They're about to say something, but then Vega just says, "Actually, if you wait half an hour, All Might will be going up against the League of Villains commander. You will be able to attack him then and get Bakugo back." Deku then just says, "Well, I mean, Vega, get it ready." Vega then goes, "Do you mean..." Then Deku says, "Shut up, it's a surprise, and yes, I mean that armor." They're confused, and then Deku just says, "Let's just say the League of Villains leader's about to have the most funniest death in history." We then cut to the fight between All Might and All For One. All Might is on his last leg and literally he has no sparks of One For All left. All For One's about to end him, and then Deku appears and says, "Hey, how about you pick on something with true power?" And All For One then feels One For All inside of Deku and he goes, "I see, so you're his successor." All Might then just gives a little grin and says, "Yes, he is. Now, what are you gonna do about it?" Then Deku just says, "Come at me, bro." And then All For One charges at Deku. Full power. Deku then just simply roundhouses him into the wall. Deku then raises both of his hands with the crucible in, and then yells, and appears in his unicorn armor. All For One is just looking at him with confusion and trying not to laugh. Then Deku says, "This is my most powerful armor." He's like, "Really? It looks like unicorn shat on it." Then Deku just teleports right in front of him and chops him in half. We cut to a few days later. All For One's funeral has been done, all that kind of stuff. Then we have Deku just chilling, watching Kota have his 8th turn that day in the Repertorium. Kota just says, "Is it just me or is this game too easy?" Deku just says, "How about you try throwing your quirk in the mix next time?" He says, "I can only just shoot water out my hands. How the hell is that going to help me?" "Fair point," Deku just says. That was the final part of What If Deku Was the Doomslayer. I have gave you a lot to go off, so comment down below ideas for the next episode if you want me to continue it. Then comment down below what if I should replace the What If Deku Was the Doomslayer, because I want to at least keep 2 series going at all time while throwing some random what ifs in the mix. This is Wolf What If /React. See you on the flip side.